So, in almost 15 years of doing what we do, we've never really been confronted with a situation like this. As a lot of you know, by this time, our dear friend, the enforcer, Stevie Bradley, has passed away. Mm-hmm. We got this news last night, and we're still trying to process it. But we figured it'd probably be, given that it's such a weird thing, because like being in the content creation business, we have like kind of a respect, especially one where we like build or engage in a community type thing. Mm-hmm. Discussing things like this is like a necessity and almost a responsibility to our audience, to clue them in on what's good. Enforcer has obviously been a huge part of our lives.
Yes.
Like not just the show, but our actual personal lives for years now.
Yeah.
And so we just thought we would get together and talk about them.
Yeah. You mentioned the 15 years that we've been doing this, and we've had the opportunity to meet and befriend a great number of absolutely amazing people. And the way Enforcer kind of joined what we do, and the fit was so seamless, and the chemistry was there immediately. I remember I was going back today watching, because I remember the first seeing his face. Well, it's two things. I remember meeting him at the New Japan show in Long Beach, the one at the Pyramid, and seeing this absolute mountain of a man. And just by his mere presence, you could tell he was the kindest soul.
Yeah.
The warmest person. Yeah. And he had that shirt with my dumb face on it. And he comes up, Larson.
That was a pretty good impression.
And
Larson.
And it's just, you knew that he was good people.
Yeah.
Just by his presence. And
he just had that vibe about him.
Yeah. And then Matt Chat. He was a regular contributor to Matt Chat, sending in questions, and there's a few of his that today I went back and watched just because, like, what wrestler is a Frito burrito?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're
a championship title, which one would you be?
That feels like yesterday.
I know.
It feels like yesterday because, for those who might be, and the funny thing is a lot of our audience now have only known us, remotely, doing things remotely. Like, this is a rarity.
Yeah, this used to be the regular deal.
This used to be how we do it. We do it.
It was this wall.
It was this wall. We used to do the 10 for the Win podcast
on that wall.
The miserable podcast on that wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so we used to have a show called Matt Chat where people would send in video questions, and it was actually a really great way to get to know a lot of the friendos behind the screen names. Mr. Dope, Adam Mayhem, Josh Martinez, Wayne,
AO
Worm, Wayne, Rich, Patrick Sparks, and Enforcer would just send in these awesome questions, and I don't remember. I think he thinks it was. I remember he had said something like it was like the first thing I ever did was invite him onto an Unsolved Mysteries stream. I think because I remember I was doing Unsolved Mysteries by myself, and then at some point I was like, "Hey, do you want to zoom in?" And maybe that turned into him coming on pay-per-views. I honestly forget.
I thought it was because we did the first 24-hour stream, and my memory's terrible.
I know, my memory's shit too, and right now is not a great time.
Because that first 24-hour stream, what year was that? Was that 2019?
It was where we weren't in the office. It was post office, so it had to have been pandemic.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was on the first one, but he had been with us, I think, for a second, anyways.
All right.
But in any event, I think the last I remember, it was an Unsolved Mysteries thing, and then I might have broached the subject with you about bringing him on for pay-per-views because, like my stuff can't. I have used my personal stuff before as like a pilot for what we do, and so I piloted him as a guest host watching Unsolved Mysteries. And the funny thing is, dude, so you and I obviously have been doing this for a very long time together, and what do we always say? We have a shorthand.
We do.
And that's why, like, we never bring anybody else. Like, it's so rare that we bring anybody else. Like, Dan was really a collaboration.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember much of, like, the community engagement back then. Back then, the community engagement was comments saying, whoa, my 2 favorite YouTubers are together. And there's, like, some of Dan's people and some of our people.
Yeah. But,
like, but Dan left, and that's when we really started building the community.
Yeah.
And so, so getting back to the shorthand thing, you and I have never had another person really, like, get on board because of our shorthand.
Yeah.
But he knew our shorthand.
He did.
And legitimately, Enforcer was like, you have a brother.
Yeah.
I've never had a brother.
Yeah.
And I've had 3 people in my life that I think sort of simulate that for me. You, Big Jeff, and Enforcer. Mm-hmm. And the way he understood us, largely because he's like our generation, he's only a couple of years younger than me.
Yeah.
And the way he understood us and what we do was just so smooth and seamless. And it was like perfect. And he was like the perfect representation of the friendos.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people say that on social media. He was the person. He was us.
Yeah.
He was them. He was the friendos.
Yeah.
All in one awesome person. He was the representative of that.
Yeah. 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 And the shorthand, the chemistry, like it was just a perfect fit, you know, and once, and we knew him a bit before, he was doing the streams regularly with us, but once it was a regular deal and we started doing Smash Zones on Thursday, it was, it was appointment. It was, for me at least, it was something to really look forward to on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
We have our thing and I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah.
But getting to know that we could do our thing with him, guaranteed once a week on Smash Zone.
Yeah.
It was something to really look forward to because it was no structure. We didn't have to worry about wrestling if we didn't want to. Mm-hmm. We can do whatever the heck we wanted to. And it spawned to this really fun, awesome thing where it became an amalgam of like all of our influences and all the things that we, the 3 of us collectively really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that was 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s game shows and random weird stuff.
Yeah.
And obscure weird wrespling.
Yeah.
And just anything that really made us laugh and stuff that we could poke fun at and crack jokes about. And especially the time that we were doing Smash Zone was really some of the most enjoyable stuff I think we got to do.
Yeah.
Not with him in the history of us working together. I think largely because it was with him. Mm-hmm. It's those are moments that are I'll always treasure with him because those are the moments before and after the show where we would just sit and chat and get to know each other. He came out here and visited a few times. And just hanging out with them and as you said, I have a brother. He's a few years older than me. But as you said, there's a handful of people that I would consider my brothers apart from my brother, and it'd be you and him.
Yeah.
And
and it's funny because a lot of the comments that I've seen also are like, whether it's people, I've noticed this in like the Wrestle Juice Discord, which has sort of just become the de facto like friendo Discord.
Yeah.
Like, thank God Maggie and Dope are there and Enforcer was there a lot too. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest comments I've seen across all the social, which by the way, the social media, like the love that's been shown to him. And that's the great thing too, that I so appreciate is that I think he, as much as we loved having him being, our guy, he loved being the guy here.
Yeah.
And to know that he knew, because he put out like 2 update videos from the hospital and they had just blown up with comments and he had seen every single one of them. And every time we mentioned him on the show, I'm sure he knew about that. And every time, the chat would load up with his Space Enforcer stuff, he would know that. And I know for a fact that he knew and where he is now, he knows that he was absolutely loved and adored by a ton of people who all saw him the same way. Like, hey, this was the guy that, he's hanging out with, the podcast that I listen to. He is us,
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, he personally would reach out whenever there was like new friendos or whatever. Like I saw somebody say, hey, whenever I was in chat or whatever, he would always acknowledge my stuff or bring it to our attention. Being like a new chatter. I mean, he would always read off like the first time chatters and Twitch and stuff. And he was an absolutely essential part of what we do. And that's something that we're going to have to like, we're going to have to work our asses off to even come close to replicating just that aspect of it.
Yeah, I know. And I need to mention, what he meant to us outside of the work aspect of it. I mean, it speaks to the kind of person he was, the warmth he had, how welcoming he was to everybody. I mean, every time there's a new chatter, he was one that saw it, made sure their comment got read. Just a hell of a dude.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah.
I was last night. I told you this already. I got out my old hard drive, and I was like, and it didn't take me long, but I was like desperately searching for a very specific Unsolved Mystery stream that we did, because those were so much fun, because it was like, he was an early riser, and so like 9 o'clock at night for him was like midnight for me.
Yeah.
And so like, we were always a little bit loopy when we were doing Unsolved Mysteries, or he was very relaxed, and we would just be talking so much shit and laughing our asses off. And, before we'd even start the episode, we'd have a good half hour of just bullshitting. Yeah. Like you could talk to him. He was a chatty cat.
Yeah, he was.
And he loved to talk. And we would just be talking, and then we'd be pausing the Unsolved Mysteries, and just, I swear, dude, like, that the hardest I ever laughed in my life was at Ace Ventura 2 in the theaters with Jeff. Is this my guy?
Yeah.
Was more than that. And then the limp sandwiches, the sad sandwiches on Unsolved Mysteries, which I'm putting together in Premiere, because I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff of his out there. I was laughing so hard. But that's the thing, like, no matter what stream I was pulling up, whether it was one with all three of us or one with just me and him from MS Steve here, every single one, there was at least one moment where we were belly laughing.
Yeah.
And he had such a great laugh that it's like as much as I love to break you, like, he's a lot easier. And you get that endorphin rush of hearing his laugh.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the thing that I miss the most from him is just that hearty laughter of his. There was something so joyful about it that I'm going to miss so much.
Yeah.
And it hasn't like really hit. Like, I mean, I told you earlier, I got no problem saying this, but like, I found the sad sandwich bit and I started laughing so hard, and then it just turned into like this uncontrollable sobbing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be more of that, but it's like, this dude has left such a massive hole in our hearts, in our lives, in the show, in every conceivable way. And it's like, I can't believe that I'm saying these words right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when you called me last night, like the instant feeling was a void there. There was a void because something had been removed that was so important. I know in my life, to yours, to a lot of people's lives, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, and I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Other than just felt like there was just a massive void within me. And it's gonna. I don't even feel like the full magnitude of it all is hit yet. And it's gonna take some time, I'm sure. But yeah, we're gonna miss the hell out of them.
Yeah, we are, absolutely. As far as sort of, our responsibilities as content creators, tomorrow night on Thursday evening, in the usual place of Smash Zone / MyGM, which we haven't even talked about MyGM. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
We are going to do a bit of a celebration of life. Like, I have no idea, because we're obviously we're friends. We're not literal family, so we do not understand yet if there is going to be like a proper memorial service, a funeral or what have you. He's survived by his one brother, and so we're sort of gonna try to figure that out. We were brainstorming earlier today, so we have no idea like what more is there to come. But I mean, at the very least, digitally in the internet space, getting together live. I mean, I can't do live right now because I can't guarantee that I'm not gonna break down on camera during and so, but I am gonna try to hold it together for tomorrow night. We're gonna do, and we're just gonna run clips. It's gonna be like a Smash Zone, me and you just talking about them. The community will be able to chat amongst themselves about stuff, and we'll just run like a bunch of clips of the Enforcer, and we'll laugh, and I don't know, y'all can cry. I'm gonna try not to cry because it's ugly.
If it happens, I'll do it.
It's ugly. I don't do anything with subtlety, including crying. It's ugly. It's ugly and uncomfortable.
All right.
So I do it in private.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm very measured in just about everything I do, including, I guess, expressing sadness. So.
Yeah. But no, I expect there to be a lot of laughter. And then we're gonna get through the rest of the week. We're gonna do AEW review tomorrow. I think we're just gonna tape that one. Yeah. And not do it live. And then Friday, I think we should be back for like a live show to round up like news and NXT stuff. And then we'll go from there. I did see some, and again, these are the things that are like important to the community, even though they seem silly. But Enforcer is and he would love this. He is currently the Big Red Predictions champion. Yeah. And so I'm probably my thought right now, I haven't thought about it. I'll run it by you in private when I put in the video. But no, I mean, these things are, they're important to the community, but I have a good idea. I think you'll probably be on board with it. Okay. For that. Oh man. So yeah, that's how it goes right now. So, by all means, load up your favorite Enforcer memories in the comments below. Wherever he is, I'm sure he'll have access to it. Yeah. And he'll be able to see all that love and feel all that love wherever he went to, wherever he journeyed to. Yeah. So yeah, that's our little update.
Yep. Love you, Enforcer. I'm gonna miss you.
Love you, boss. All right.